What is up, guys? ESO for show here. In this video, I wanted to go over some tips and tricks in PvP. As a slight disclaimer, I don't claim to be good at this fucking game. Honestly, there's a lot better people than me, but I'm just going to point out a few things that some people may not notice or are wondering about to improve their build. But other than that, I'm going to play some footage in the background, and I hope you guys enjoy. So once you figure out your class and whether you want to be Stamina or Magicka, you're going to want to definitely go over all of these sets, even if you're not that other one, because some of these will actually work for Stamina or Magicka, even though they're not light or heavy, or even medium. But you're definitely going to want to get accustomed with these, and for a damage setup in PvP, you're going to want a damage set and a sustain set, such as Hunding's Bone Pirate, things like that. For a tanky setup, you drop the damage set, obviously, and put in something maybe like Impregnable, Activate Dragon Guard, just things along those lines. And for a healer, obviously, you're going to want a healing set. Um, Things like SPC, Transmutation, sets like those. I'm not a healer, so I really don't know that much about it. You could use those in replacement. Oh, Combat Physician, that's another good one, I think. Where'd it go? Right there. Yeah, 8k shield for crit healing. It's not bad. But see what looks good, what works to your advantage. If you're using healing ward, you can stack that with more shields, with combat position and things like that. So sets really dictate also your playstyle, which definitely should be thought about when deciding what sets to use. After you look over all your sets and you're finally decided, you're going to want to come to the skill department here, class skills. I recommend looking at every single one of these, honestly. You're not going to learn much if you just look at your own and understand all the ins and outs of your own abilities. The real part of PvP comes to knowing your opponent as well. So if you're a warden fighting a dragon knight, maybe a magic warden versus a stamina dragon knight, you're going to have to understand what it takes to kill them and realize that you're not going to do a lot of damage. You have to set up your burst and find that kill condition and catch them off guard. So definitely invest some time into reading all of the other skills and morphs and passives of all the um other classes so you can outplay or find ways to outplay the other class in a duel or a PvP situation. After you've decided on some of your abilities that you want to put on your bar, you know, things that synergize well, crit rating is increased and stuff like that, you're gonna want to come over to the guilds and world skills and whatnot, because there's a lot of hidden gems back here in Fighters Guild, those passives, those ability and their passives, Mages Guild as well. Also, the where is it? Vampire and Werewolf skill lines. These can give you some good stuff. Don't look at the Soul Magic though. The Soul Strike thing, don't ever use that. That's for trash kids. You don't want to be a trash kid. So once you finally have all of your gear, all of your abilities set up, and a basic understanding of how you're going to play it, you're going to want to understand the kill conditions first off, and that comes with a little bit of the awareness of your build. For instance, if you're a Nightblade, definitely going to use some in-caps and some executes to finish off your targets. A lot of bursts set up through stealths. Maybe on a DK, you're going to want to set up maybe a Dizzy Swing into a Dawnbreaker or a Dragon Leap. Or even if you're using Clever Alchemist, you're going to want to save that potion to set up for some bursts and not use it just, frivolously. Next thing you're going to want to look for are a lot of animations. For instance, Sorks, when they have crystal frags up, their hands glow. Or maybe when Clever Alchemist or Ravager procs, the arms glow orange on your opponent. Also, Magicka DKs with their wings, that's a reflect coming. And there's a lot more I could go on about. Just don't really have time to go over every single one in this video. I'm just going to give you a few examples of each. Hopefully you can spot them out yourself. But once you have all of the animations kind of down pat and you understand that something's going to hurt you or kill you, then you can kind of get some counterplay out of that. So when you see that big damage is coming, you can heal up and go defensive really quick. Or if your stuff procs on your own character, then you need to know that it's time to burn. This is part of a kill condition. Kill conditions are really important. If your kill condition requires your opponent to be CC'd, obviously you don't want to dump everything on them if they're not CC'd. Or if maybe you have something that requires an execute to kill them, like Killer's Blade, something along those lines, you're going to want to just set up everything in the best order possible. Like on a Magicka DK, you can Meteor and then Fossilize them. Or on a Magicka Nightblade, Meteor, Fear, and then use the bow ability that's charged up through light attacks. So there's a lot of things like that to look out for. When it comes to actual fighting in smaller groups for BGs, for instance, you're going to want to go after the squishiest person or the healer. While you're doing that, the other people on the other team should be doing the exact same. If your healer dips too low, you're going to want to come back and peel the damage off and try to relieve some pressure off of your healer. And then if you're in comms with other people, group together and time your ults and focus the same targets. Definitely stop free casters in the back. If you see Sork just spamming crystal frags, you're definitely going to want to go and interrupt him, show him what's up, and put that to an end. On the flip side, if you're also being pressured, you can use specific abilities to help combo yourself in healing and defensive abilities such as shields and heals. If you use those at the same time, you can heal yourself while you're shielded, don't lose any health, and you can successfully sustain yourself back to full and able to continue fighting. Things like Igneous Shield and a Rally is really good for a burst heal, and with shields you can bait people because you can go low HP, think they have you, line up all of your burst, put the shield on, and then just go ham. We'll never see it coming. You gotta be unpredictable sometimes because there's a lot of people. If you can get down pat what they're doing, for instance, I fought this guy earlier today in a duel. Every time he would just cloak, crit rush, fear me, spam rapid strikes. I was like, what are you doing? Every single time. And then he would throw down a trap beast for my bear, which would get me a little upset. So I just kited around my bear and beat him. So things like that you gotta look out for. Getting your burst combo down at the right time also really helps. Positioning is also very key for that. You're not going to kill anybody with a melee ability if you're 20 meters back. So definitely get yourself in the right position, but you also don't want to be hugging somebody that might have some AoEs around them like Grothdar. You kind of want to keep your distance and attack really when it's down, or if you know you can go right through it, if you've got enough defense and healing going, then be my guest and go right through. A lot of things that can also be countered is those weapon traits. There's a lot of things that people don't know about. There's prismatic enchants with infused weapons. Those give you big numbers. If you can sacrifice sharpened, I say go for it. Put something else on, because you can get sharpened through a lot of other passives and abilities, be it through CP or light armor passives. Also, gear sets can give you that missing penetration if you choose to go maybe an infused weapon with the weapon damage. Some things that can be picked back up that are lost through traits can also be picked back up through munduses, such as the Lover Mundus can give you some extra penetration if you don't need it for the regen or the weapon damage. For food, the foods you most really want to use are the max health, max stat pool that you use, such as Witch Mothers or Dubious Cameron Throne, max Magicka, max stamina, max health, and then a regen stat for whichever one you use as well. Those are really strong, but if you're lacking the max health, I recommend using just the max stam, max health, or max Magicka, max health. Incomplete bonus sets, or incomplete set bonuses, rather, are some things to look out for in your gear choice as well. It's kind of undecided as to whether which way is the best way. You can run 2 5-pieces and a monster set, or you can run 2 5-pieces and a 1 off piece. For that off piece, it could be a slew of things. It could be a monster shoulder with Max magicka, max stam, whichever complements your thing, max weapon damage or spell damage. There's a bunch of different things, even resistances if you really want to go that far. But once you have those to play with, it kind of mixes a lot of things up, because even if you feel like you don't need that monster set, you could swap it for 2 incomplete one pieces. So you could do 2 of each monster piece, like 2 max stams, max stam weapon damage, max stam max health. There's so many different things that you could choose to work with. I totally rolled this guy in this video right here. Here we go, and boom. But definitely try out those things that you're lacking, because in jewelry you can choose 3 recovery glyphs, 3 weapon damage glyphs, cost reduction, a mix match of any of the 3, and you could also complement the lack of spell damage or weapon damage on the jewelry, which gives you more recovery, with a monster set, or you could swip it, swip it, switch it and swap it around and have a regen monster set one piece and a weapon damage glyph on your jewelry. So there's so many different ways you could set these things up that it's a little ridiculous and can get quite tiresome. But just kind of look for the right things that you need in conjunction with what you're trying to do. Maybe bleeds. You need more more damage instead of penetration, because bleeds ignore resistances, things like that. Alright, and so for the last part of this, before I let this video play out, I want to say a few things. For one, if you keep losing in duels, don't get discouraged. Keep on dueling, keep on studying the other class, and even watching other players play your own class is good tips. Don't be afraid to ask around. I'm sure people will be glad to help you out. Find someone that plays your class as well. Ask them questions. Or if you're fighting people, ask ways to beat them. They might know a counter of their own build. Hopefully they should. I sure as hell know mine. Things like that, you definitely want to just keep on practicing. It's not going to come immediately. I remember dueling some guy the other day. He asked for some help with the new build he wanted to test out, so I walked in there. All I did was throw 3 abilities his way, and he just bent over and died. And so I beat him again a second time, and this guy said in chat, "I don't think I like this build," and right there, I just lost it. I was like, I need to finish this video. Feel so bad for that guy. It's not the build, it's most likely you. I'm not being mean. You gotta really understand your playstyle and your character and how to play it. It's not the sets. The sets aren't going to get you the kills. You could play with trash full purple sets, or you could play with full gold and still be bad. I know a guy like that. So don't be discouraged if you keep dying. Just keep on trying. Go for those 1v1s. Go for the 1vx. Don't be afraid. Just dive right in. I know I've dueled some people where I beat them so bad a few times in a row, they just kind of run off. And they don't want to keep trying. Or they don't ask you any questions like, how could I beat you? What is there to do? I think that's about it. I'll let this video play out. It's almost over. It's a pretty good one in my opinion. I think the last final score I went was like 15-5 or something. Did quite a lot of damage. I'm about to leap up on this guy here real quick and crush him real fast. This is interesting. Crystal frag, reflect, leap, dead. Things like that you gotta look out for. So that's about it. That wraps it up. I'll let you guys watching me die. Alright, that's fucking perfect timing. But yeah, if anything felt a little out of place in this video or just completely jumbled around, I'm sorry. I rushed to push this out because I had a lot of people asking me about PvP and stuff like that. Definitely want to show these people this video. And yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know. If they weren't answered in here, I sure as hell meant to put them in here, and I'll be glad to answer it for you. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.